In my opinion, the DC Defenders are the best team in the entire XFL. They won on Saturday. They beat New York 27-0, and they are stacked. They have the best coach in the league, Pep Hamilton. He's been an NFL assistant for years. He's long deserved an opportunity as a head coach. Finally, the XFL gave it to him. They made him the head coach in DC. But he's a great communicator. He is so good at teaching the game of football. And he's a great coordinator for two important reasons. Number one, his guys are incredibly well organized. You don't see them making very many mistakes, and his team is incredibly well prepared. But the second reason why he's a great coordinator is that he is so good at making small adjustments throughout the course of a game. He's good at adapting to what defenses are doing to try to stop them. So not only does DC have a great head coach, they have one of the best quarterbacks in the entire XFL as well. Now, if you asked anybody on the street, they would probably tell you that PJ Walker is the best quarterback in the league. But very close behind him at the second position is Cardale Jones, the quarterback in DC. He's phenomenal. He's a huge guy, and what that means is that Cardale Jones can use his size to do things other quarterbacks simply cannot do. There are plays where defenders are hanging off of him, trying to pull him to the ground. He'll still find a way to stay upright and throw the ball downfield accurately. It's really impressive to me. But it's not just his physical ability that makes him phenomenal. He makes really good decisions, particularly in the red zone, where his thought process really impresses me because he knows his matchups, he knows exactly where to go with the ball, and he's so good. The red zone especially is where Cardale Jones really shines. He does a great job down there. But every time I watch Cardale Jones, he makes another impressive throw. Like every time I look back at my television, I go, another one? Another big play? Like, oh my gosh. He's highly accurate. He makes good throws. He gets tremendous chunks of yardage downfield with his arm. But I will say this, on Saturday, Cardale Jones made two decisions, two out of numerous decisions, but two of them were bad ones. I'd love to see Cardale Jones make zero bad decisions in the game of football. First of all, it's the XFL. It's not going to happen. But number two, even the best quarterbacks in the league will make a mistake here and there. Now, on both of those plays, though, there were plays where you have a ticking time clock, where time is running out, and Cardale Jones needs to relax and make a better decision. That's the common thread and common theme when you hear about the two mistakes he made. The first one was this. It's a play where he had pressure in his face. He was getting taken to the ground, and he decided to throw the ball up in the middle of the field where he had like 4 or 5 defenders around one receiver. It's a bad idea. It's a bad decision, and he was very lucky. The interception got dropped, but it really should have been intercepted. Cardale Jones got very, very lucky. The second play was a play where he was running along the sideline, extending the play. The defense was closing in, and he decided again to throw the ball up for grabs, and this time it was intercepted. So again, we see a pattern where there are moments where the defense is closing in, he's running out of time, and he throws the ball up for grabs rather than taking a sack or rather than throwing the ball in the dirt or throwing the ball away. Cardale Jones needs to be more disciplined in moments where, you know, he almost, it's not that he panics is not the right word here, but it's like, I have no other option. He's got to just take the loss rather than trying to make a play downfield. But if he's more disciplined, he'll take his mistakes from 2 a game to about 0 a game. He's very, very close. Cardale Jones is a very efficient, really, really phenomenal quarterback. Now, I also want to credit Eli Rogers, a DC receiver. His mom died during the week leading up to their game against New York. And he decided to play in the game rather than going to his mom's funeral. His mom's funeral was literally happening the day of the game. And so he played. He had 5 catches. He had 49 yards. And I really respect him for playing. I don't know his mom. I know that if someone in my life died, I would want them to play. Like, go do what you love. Don't let my death slow you down from living your life and living it to the fullest. And so I can't speak for his mom. I know that's how I would feel if someone in my family died. If I died, I would want my family members to carry on. My guess is Eli Rogers honored his mom with that game. And I just wanted to give him credit. That's really, really cool what happened on Saturday with their game. Now, here's what's interesting is that DC's defense they're the best in the XFL. Like, in my opinion, the DC Defenders are the best team total in the NFL. They're a great quarterback, the best head coach, a great defense. And what's even more scary is that they went from a a defense that was already really, really good. And they got even better through an acquisition they made during the week, which is terrifying and scary. They added Anthony Johnson from LA. LA let Anthony Johnson go after 1 week, and I don't think it was because he was not talented. There was something going on. They fired their defensive coordinator, Pepper Johnson. They also got rid of Anthony Johnson. Anthony Johnson was a captain on the LA Wildcats, so clearly he's a good player. He was well-liked. Something went on behind the scenes that they got rid of him, but he went into D.C. I actually DM'd with him the other day. He is happy to be in D.C. He's happy to be there. He wants to play the game of football. And he made D.C. even better, which is really, really scary because they were already the best team in the league. Here's what happened. He had an immediate impact on Saturday. Anthony Johnson came in. He flew on a red-eye flight from L.A. to Washington, D.C., played in the game. He led his team in sacks. He had 1.5 sacks on Saturday. He had 2 tackles for loss, 3 total tackles. It is so scary that the D.C. defenders got even better by adding Anthony Johnson. It's just crazy to me. Now, another really talented player on DC's defense is Matt Elam. In 2013, Matt Elam was a first-round pick by the Baltimore Ravens. And some people actually, and not adoringly, some people say that Matt Elam is the biggest bust in Ravens draft history. First-round pick who just didn't pan out with the Baltimore Ravens. But it is important. He was a first-round pick for a reason. He's really, really talented. It never worked for him in the NFL. But he's playing pretty good in D.C. He had a pick on Saturday. He picked off Matt McGloin, the quarterback of New York. And I'm just really curious to follow his story and follow his career. He's a guy looking for redemption. For whatever reason, talent was never the problem with Matt Elam. He could never get his stuff together off the field. And it really affected him. In fact, when he came into the draft, he was the only guy who didn't have an agent, which is weird. It's hard to take on that kind of responsibility because an agent, when you're an NFL player, deals with so much crap you shouldn't have to worry about. As an NFL player, you want to worry about your body, being prepared, your playbook, yada, yada. You don't want to have to worry about the other logistics of being an athlete. So I think a lot went on behind the scenes with Matt Elam, but either way, he was a first-round bust who failed in the NFL. But he's making a name for himself with DC, and that's really cool because it's a redemption story. It's a really cool story of a guy making a comeback after failing pretty miserably in the NFL. And I just find myself rooting for Matt Elam. Again, the DC Defenders, they're the best team in the league. They've got a great coach, great quarterback, Anthony Johnson, Matt Elam, a really talented defense. And they are the team to beat in the XFL.